Hello fellow guitar geeks, in this video I'm taking a look at this, the Hammertone Fuzz from Fender. The Hammertone series are Fender's new affordable range of pedals. Not quite as affordable as a $25 Amazon Basics, but with Fender branding and Fender backing, it's between $70 and $95, which is affordable for a Fender product. Of course, the price is irrelevant if the pedals aren't very good, so I've dedicated one video per pedal, meaning that you've got 9 videos in total, one covering each pedal from the Hammertone series, and in this video, it's the Fuzz. So we'll talk specs and the review in a little bit, but let's get onto those sounds first. Here are my top 5 tones from the Fender Hammertone Fuzz. Okay, now this is one of those splittery, spluttery, splattery, nasty fuzzes that actually pretty much cleans up well. And I went over to the Les Paul style, the Lester from Maybach, just to give that full power chord humbucking goodness, and it really spits. It's not the craziest fuzz I've ever used, but also not the tamest. And I think it can go pretty much from nice and little 60s, 70s to full-on nasty. And that often isn't the case with some fuzz pedals because it either does one or the other. And I'm not a particular fan of the Maestro pedal. It's too toppy for me. But this one is dark as heck. And most of the time I've got the tone way up at the top. So it is super dark. Let's do some more playing with this Lester. It seems that the humbuckers, it's still very singy. It's very violin and sustainable and all those sort of notes that just ring out and go for a long time. And then when you whack up that fuzz, it goes splittery splattery. With the Strat, maybe it's a little cleaner. A little quieter. So yeah, it is a lot cleaner, of course, with single coils. If you need something that's a bit more old school, a bit more 60s, a bit more tame, then single coils are your friend. If you want something that is more a case of splittery splattery, saying it again, go for humbuckers. I haven't really engaged the octave much. The octave does tend to make things a little more crazy, as they do. This one is very synthy. A dig this fuzz. This is, how much is it? 69, 65-ish in that area, depending on where you're living. And that is a lot of fuzz for the money. I think without the octave, you get a much more usable fuzz. But when you put that fuzz, the octave, sorry, on, it gets real splitty nasty. It's fun. Out of the collection of affordable fuzz pedals that I have, that's somewhere near the top. So far, you've been hearing it through the Marshall SV20 because I think it sounds the best. But for comparison, let's put it through the Fender Deluxe Reverb, and I'll play the same thing, and then we'll put it through the Boss Katana set to clean, so you can hear it through something solid state. We'll start with the Marshall because that's what you've heard it so far, and then Fender, then Boss. Okay, so now the Fender. And now the Boss Katana. Yeah, my favourite just has to be that Marshall, that sort of slightly warm, slightly on the edge. It's clean, but there's an edge of overdrive just there, and the Fender's just too clean. Fender sounds nice, it's too clean. The Boss, the Katana, sounds surprisingly good, but when you put that fuzz pedal through it, you can hear the fact that there are not tubes reacting to it. It's just not quite there. Yeah, my favourite's the SV20, so buy yourself a $65 pedal and a $1,600 amp, and you'll be sorted. The Hammertone Fuzz is silicon based. It's got 2 silicon diodes in it, so it doesn't really sound, it sounds more super fuzzish and maestro in those low gain modes than it does big muff. So it's big and it's grippy and it's crunchy and it's rippy as well, but it's certainly not fat and full, and it is a little dark as well. So I found myself really using the tone up in the top kind of area, rarely going down from that. And then the octave mode is, as you've heard, spitty and spluttery and quite synthy. Not my favourite octave fuzz I've ever used, and I would probably use this fuzz without the octave for some sort of mid-range fuzzy tones. I quite like this for when it's in the middle. So all the way up, a bit too much, but somewhere in the middle, somewhere around 3/4 maybe, certainly is a great fuzz. But inside is a trim pot that allows us to adjust something to do with the highs. So it would be animalistic of me if I didn't open it up and have a look inside. So, taking it off the board, we've got a little thing just there. So can I open it with my, oh I can, with my old 1-penny piece from 1929. My lucky coin, this is. The trim pot's just there, and Fender have called it a secondary tone control, adjusting the high frequency characteristics. And I think it needs a little bit of adjusting. Also, to point out, there's a little battery adapter just there, so it does run on 9-volt batteries. And while we're here, looks like a solid machine-done soldering job. And solid work as well. Let's turn it on. And I can't turn it. Turn it, baby. So it was all the way up, so let's turn it down. It was all the way up. Wow. That is super dark. So what if I put that tone all the way up on the front? Now we've got maximum tone on the front. And now let's try turning that all the way up, which I think it was already all the way up. Not quite. Now I'm hearing stuff like this little... That wasn't there before. So I think the trim pot inside was around, I don't know, 8 out of 10? Okay, so that's brought back, I would leave that at the top. That's brought back some of the life necessary to really get that fuzz pedal to cut through. Okay, I am never a big fan of having trim pots on the inside, but I understand why Fender Ferris, I was going to say that, that's me. Why Fender have done this, because it does make it more of a set and forget. I always wish that trim pots were never inside in an ideal world, but then we would have no space. Yeah, so making this, hang on, look at the other pedals. So there's only space enough for 4 knobs or 3 knobs and a switch, or down on the other ones there's 3 knobs and 2 switches. By having the trim pot on the inside saves space on the outside, which is such an obvious thing to say, Andy. Sorry. Okay, the review of the pedal. It's got to be a really, really dark and dingy day if I don't enjoy a fuzz pedal. However, there are some times, if I just played it through that Fender Deluxe Reverb, I would have thought the fuzz pedal was okay. But putting it through the Marshall, that's where it's at. So you've got to get an amp that's a little bit on the edge of breakup and warm for this to really pull through, I think. And it also sounded okay through the Katana, but not my favorite. Enough of the amps. I think if you want... I'm stating obvious kind of things. If you want something full and fat, you've got to give it humbuckers. If you want to back it off and just have a little bit of overdrivey kind of fuzz, a little bit of amp sort of broken upness, you need something with single coils. This is just a Mexican Fender player, by the way, in case you're wondering. It's nothing over the top pricey. It's definitely going in the list of my favorite fuzz pedals of the year, which consists of all the fuzz pedals I've played this year. But yeah, the octave switch, definitely not my favorite octave, but without it, yeah, I think I'll leave that up to you. What do you think? Okay, that's it. That's the end of the video. You have reached this far, which means you are part of the End of the Video Club, and to prove that you are a member of this prestigious elite, when you leave a comment down below telling me if you enjoyed the Hammertone Fuzz from Fender or not, please also include the phrase Octavio. And that'll let me know that you watched this part. And the YouTube gods will forever shine down upon me with their clicky goodness. So that's the fuzz. If you want to see the overdrive, go and click just there, because I'm going to put the overdrive video there. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Fender for sending out the pedals and sponsoring the video. I've had a jolly marvellous time fuzzing my face off. I will see you very soon. My name's Andy, and yeah, have a good time all the time. Bye-bye.